Today, I'm gonna build a giant Lego battle between 1,000 minifigures, adding weapons, giant structures, and simulating different attacks at the end. Anyway, let's go. Okay, here's my plan. I'm gonna build 2 civilizations from around the world to go to battle with each other. So my first step is to build a battlefield for them to fight. Okay, now the first thing that every battle needs are soldiers. So let's begin by adding the first 10 soldiers to each army. On one side, I built medieval knights armed with swords, and on the other side, I built Japanese samurai warriors that they'll be going to battle with. But this is the most basic Lego battle I've ever seen. So let's increase our first army from 10 soldiers to 100 of them. Wow, this looks like the copy and paste button in real life. But the other army is now outnumbered, so let's add more soldiers to the other army. And some of these soldiers have different weapons like ninja stars or these metal claws. Okay, now both armies are equally matched, and this is looking much more like a real battle. But my goal is to make this battle so big that it takes up the entire table. Okay, our soldiers are ready for battle, but they need weapons to fight. So the first weapon I built is a giant catapult that launches bolters. Okay, let's see if it works. Huh? Okay, that wasn't supposed to happen. Okay, I used a different piece. Let's try it. Huh? Nice. The second weapon I built is a giant crossbow. There's a seat to put a minifig, that way the person can control it. It can be adjusted to shoot at any angle, and it works just like a real crossbow because it can be loaded with these giant arrows and shot using a rubber band. Okay, new weapon unlocked, so we can add that to the battlefield. Okay, we've added a weapon to each army, and at the end, we're gonna test them in battle to see how much damage they can do. But first, let's add another 100 soldiers to each army. So now there's 400 total minifigs on this battlefield right now. But this time I've added minifigs with bows and arrows. So for my next plan, what if we built giant towers that they can shoot from? So on one side of the battlefield, I built 2 towers. Each tower has 3 separate levels, which allow people to attack at different angles, and I added a ladder on the back that people can use to climb up and down the tower. Okay, we just built towers for the first army, but now we need to build towers for the other army. So let's quickly grab some resources to build them. Nice. Okay, now we can build the next tower, so I built 2 of them. But these ones have tiny windows that the archers can shoot through, and above each window is a door that can shut and block any attacks. Okay, I think it's time to add more soldiers to the battlefield, but this time we're gonna add them on horses. On these horses, I added plate pieces on the side to act as armor, and on these horses, I added a small chariot in the back that they can pull, and each chariot can fit a single rider, and I built these small weapons that shoot arrows. Okay, let's try all of them. Nice. And to feed the horses, I built this Lego cart full of apples. There's other little things we can add to this battlefield, like spikes to go in the ground, and I built this random weapon, and it's a giant ball on the end of a chain. Wow, it's really effective. Okay, the next thing that this battlefield needs is a medical tent to heal any soldiers that are injured in battle. So I built a small tent with a bed, basic medical supplies, and a highly trained doctor. I also built a small wagon that can be pulled to help transport any injured soldiers around the battlefield. So now, if a soldier is injured, he can get proper medical attention. Okay, our battlefield has grown a lot more, but I think it's time to add more soldiers. So on both sides of the battlefield, I'm gonna add an additional 100 soldiers. So now we're looking at 600 soldiers in total. But there's still more empty space on the battlefield, so my next plan is to build a giant fortress to put soldiers. So I started by building a giant wall with a staircase going to the top, making this fortress harder to access. And on top of this large wall, I'm gonna build the actual fortress. So I made this Japanese-style castle. To enter the castle, you climb these stairs and enter through this large wooden door that opens. I added 4 towers on each corner and a large tower in the very middle, and you can actually open it up and see the inside. But there's nothing in here, so let's customize it and add different rooms. The first room I built is a training room for soldiers to practice their combat skills with a large mat and training equipment. And for the second level, I'm gonna turn it into a large storage space to put different things that people would need in battle, like a range of different weapons and food supplies. Okay, the fortress is finished, but now we need to build one for the other army. What if we built a giant medieval castle? Now, I've never seen a castle or been inside of one. So before building one in Lego, I drove 2 hours from my house to visit an actual castle built in the real world. So after exploring it, I took notes, and I have lots of ideas now that I can use to build my own castle. My first step was to build a giant wall surrounding the castle, a large moat full of water, and I built this working drawbridge. Okay, lower the bridge. Okay, it works. Now we can continue building the castle. So I built a tower on each corner of the castle to put a guard, small platforms around the wall to put more guards, and I built one giant tower in the very middle. Now something we can add to our castle is a small prison to put captured people with torture devices.
Hey bro, so we're executing you for committing an illegal Lego technique.
No! And in the largest tower of the castle, I saved an empty room, so I'm gonna turn it into a small Lego prison for captured soldiers. And inside, I put a bed of nails, a small bucket of drinking water, another bucket to poop in, and rotten chicken. The worst part though is that there's no Wi-Fi. Okay, I think our castle is now finished. So now that we've built a fortress for each army, our battle is almost finished. So let's add the final wave of soldiers. And after adding all of them, there's now 500 soldiers in each army. So that's 1,000 minifigs in total. Oh my gosh. The minifigs almost fill up the entire table, guys. Okay, and now that both armies are complete, it's time for them to battle each other. For this first attack, let's see how much damage we can make with the catapult we built earlier. Okay, we just lost 13 soldiers from that. But compared to how many more are left, that's nothing. Okay, for this next round, we're gonna attack the other army, but this time with the giant crossbow. Okay, that did way more damage than the catapult. And after counting, we've lost 38 soldiers from that attack. Bro got hit so bad, he's upside down. Okay, it's time to attack the other army. But this time, we're gonna see how much damage we can make with the Nerf gun. Nice. That was a nice comeback. And from that attack, we've lost 34 soldiers. Okay, it's time to step it up. So for these final few attacks, I'm gonna do them outside because we're gonna use tiny explosives and see how much damage we can make. Okay, here we go. Okay, that did a lot of damage. And from that attack, we've lost 77 soldiers. And now, it's time for one final attack, but this time, we're going to attack the medieval castle with 100 fireworks that will go off all at once. Wow, well that castle got completely destroyed. And from that last attack, we've lost a total of 79 knights and 124 samurai. So the knights have taken that dub. This is like a real life version of a battle I'd imagine in my head. Go tell your dog to watch this video. I'll catch you in the next one and see you later. Feeling like a minifig.